Hello, and thank you for joining us. Welcome to Sports in the Mix. My name is Cedric Bailey, and it is time to talk sports. And joining me, as always, the one and only Andrea George. Hey, Andrea, how you doing?
Hey, Sid, how are you this morning?
I'm doing all right, and happy birthday. It was your weekend of the celebrated birthday. What did you do?
Um, I just celebrated me.
I know that's right.
I just celebrated me. It was just one of these years where individuality is
Mm-hmm.
going to be my motto for this next year. So I just celebrated me all by myself, and I had the greatest time by myself.
Amen. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. So congratulations.
Hey, first time, and I really enjoy, sometimes you have to get in a place where when you're in a place where you're at peace, you don't need nobody around you, you don't need nobody to celebrate you. Uh, November 8th is my day,
I
and
know
I'm
that's right.
gonna celebrate my day moving forward. So
Amen. Well, I'm
it was a
happy
great
for you.
day.
Well, good, good. Well, we got so much to talk about because I was busy and I've been dealing with a lot of things, but I got the word about this football player who played for the Dallas Cowboys and was just picked up. His name is Marshawn Kneeling. And Andrea, what's the word? What did you hear that happened on this situation?
Man, I tell you what, that was just a total shock. And then, there's so much stuff out there on social media. You don't really know what to believe. But it's funny that November is men's mental health month.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And from my understanding, the young man evidently was suffering from mental health. But when you're suffering from mental health, the more pressure that's put on you, um, the more difficult it can be. And the pressure can come from, of course, sports. Professional sports alone is just pressure enough, trying to make sure you're doing the right things and to stay in the position that you're in. But when those outside pressures come at you, such as family, friends, girlfriends, from my understanding, that may have played a big role in the pressure that was put on him based on the last text that he received, encouraging him to do what he needed to do. Uh, that's a lot. That's a lot. So I don't think anybody will ever know exactly what the situation is. Based on speculations, based on text, all of that can be AI generated. But evidently, the young man at 24-year old had a lot of pressure, um, that he just could not handle. And somebody in that state of mind, sometimes their only out they feel is, taking their own life. Unfortunately, when you have a relationship, or fortunately, when you have a relationship with Christ,
Yeah.
uh, you're renewing your mind every day.
Well, let me
And
share this with you. I'm going to share this with you, Andrea. Is that when he was drafted, his mother had just passed away before he was
right,
drafted. So,
right,
the closest, the most important person in your life, the one who brought you to this world and gave you life, when,
right.
when they're gone, I mean, I just got asked to be a part of a book from a friend of mine in Michigan. Her name is
Uh-huh.
Dr. Sabrina Black, and she sent me the book, and I had a chance to read this book. It's so much in it, and you never know what a person is going through. It was so many things. So this young man was putting on a happy face.
Mm-hmm.
He was spending time with former Dallas Cowboy, of course, Greg
Mm-hmm.
Ellis, and he says, so you look at back and think, was he had a bright, smiley guy, and he was also that had some sadness about him.
Right.
He said he saw that in him and he just wasn't around him enough to help him deal with that. And so, he had just played a great game against the Cardinals,
Right.
blocked a punt and ran it, and was able to get in there for a touchdown to celebrate. I saw a video of him spending time with Dak Prescott and having
Right.
fun. But it says this is what happens for family and loved ones who connect to victims in the wake of suicide. They reflect and rehash and examine from many angles Often it's not the first question is why, but it concedes. But then here's the crazy thing: it had to deal with law enforcement too, as well. Andrea, what did you hear on that?
Well, from my understanding, and I feel like this was a legitimate source. From my understanding, something had gone on at home, and he actually took off. I'm assuming maybe an altercation between the girl and him, but he took off, and she alerted the police that he was angry and that he had taken off, and where the location was. So they were actually trying to, from my understanding, trying to catch him and stop him, because she informed him that he had a gun.
Oh God.
And I guess what had transpired between the relationship, and that's where the text comes in place, that he said that he had had enough. And then she said that her text back was, well, go ahead and do it. So she alerted the police that, he was in a terrible state of mind, that he had mental illness. And so they were actually trying to, from my understanding, was trying to catch him before he hurt himself. But unfortunately, he ran. Well, he got
He
away,
fled
and
the
it
scene.
ended
Yeah.
up in a chase,
Yeah.
and therefore, ended his own life.
Yeah.
But again, sometimes, people in your life, family, people that are closest to you, that try to save you, you're not their savior. Again, they have to develop a relationship with the only one that can save you. And when you again are in a mental state of mind, pressures coming out at you, making remarks, doing things. This is a professional. This is a kid, 24-year-old, who hasn't even lived a life, hasn't learned to overcome, and obviously didn't have the right people around him to help him work through the mental state. And then, from my understanding, she came out, and now she's pregnant.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
so, like I said, it's all speculation. I try to go with reliable sources when I'm reading
Yeah. Yeah.
anything that's on Facebook. In my opinion,
Yeah. You got to
it,
double check the source, and that's what
it's
we're
not.
doing.
Yeah, it's AI generated,
Yeah.
but the sources that I have gone to are really spelling it out, and she's a key component to the situation, in my opinion.
Wow.
So we have to be careful what we do and what we say in these situations.
Well, our prayers are with his family.
Yes,
Mother's name was Wendy,
yes,
and of course, they grew up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm on the red.
yeah,
He played football at Western Michigan, by the way.
right,
And so we're definitely going to keep the family in prayer as they get ready for
right,
the ongoing celebration, and not only for his family, but his football team too as
right,
well. Because
right,
and it just so happened it happened during a bye week too as well. So
exactly.
we're
So,
definitely.
and the pressures, when your mother passes, I know that's the glue, that's the heart. When when you lose your mother, your whole soul, your everything dies,
Yeah,
because
stop.
you that's your reference, that's your go-to, that's your prayer warrior, that's the person I you know I, in my life, and I would think in
That
my
you could
kids'
talk to.
life,
Yeah.
that's the person that is going to be there for you no matter what, good or bad. There's never any judgment when it comes to your mother, because the mother always has that perfect word, that prayer. They're going to you. They're going to God on your behalf. They're on their knees. They're crying. They're doing whatever to make sure that you get from A to B. And moms can dive in on that mental state of mind, because they are of you. They created you. You know, as far as, you know, God created you, but moms is the next thing, in my opinion, closest to God when it comes to overcoming certain situations. Anybody can talk sports. Anybody can talk sports, but the person that's most closest to your heart and to your mind, in my opinion, um, is your mom. And for those of that don't have their moms or didn't grow up with their moms, you know, usually that next person is their grandma or grandpa. It doesn't necessarily have to be, it's just that person that pours into you spiritually, mentally, physically. And that can take a toll, especially when there's pressures coming on you and you don't have that key person to turn to. You can make it look like everything is okay, but in the back of your mind, it's really not okay. And it's sad that, you know, it took taking his life to open the eyes and for things to start coming out. You know, it amazes me how people start speaking out after the fact. You know, we need to talk during the fact, and then we can save so many young people from these situations. It's like every day we're hearing about some young adult that is taking their life
Yeah.
over
Something that, you know, that's petty or so.
yes, that could be controlled and that could be handled.
Yeah.
But some people just can't handle the pressure.
Yeah. Well, I understand how you feel, and I know it's personal to you, and I can just hear it in your voice. And that's why we're taking the time to talk about it. So for those that are
Right,
watching, be sure to share this with someone. Let them know,
right.
you know, you can get some help about it. Don't be afraid. And if a person shuts you out, then you just continue to pray for them that they
That's
will
it.
open up and that you will be able to be the one to do so. So, Andrea,
Right.
thanks for sharing that. And we're definitely praying for Marshawn Kneeling's family.
Yes,
Meanwhile, I want to shift gears and go ahead and talk about the WNBA. The Dallas Wings have now hired their new coach, and now I know why they picked Jose Fernandez to be the head coach, because it's all about Paige Bueckers.
that's it.
That he has a close relationship with Geno Auriemma. So
Yes,
talk
they are
about
very
that.
good friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you say, the more we, you know, I question why, and over, you know, others that are available to coach. But the more I read and more I understand, I do understand and why. It's all about your number one pick. And we said that early in the season that if the situation is not built around Paige Bueckers, it's not going to work. And that's exactly, and for him to come out and say, yes, the number one pick, uh, rookie of the year, you have to build your program around Paige Bueckers, you know, because that that's why you drafted her into the Wings to develop and to grow this program and make it a program that, you know, and Dallas fans or fans all over the world. She's famous all over the world, as we can see by after the season, all the areas. She just got back from London, just all of the places that she's been. She's loved. That's the person that you got to build your program around. And the players that you bring in have got to buy into that as well, because it's only going to make them better as well.
Can
What
I
he
share with you?
brings is,
Can I share what he says
yeah,
as I'm reading these notes? Because his name is Jose, and the way he says this is like, I'm sorry, my friend, but this will not be the same old Dallas Wings team, my brother.
right,
He says
right.
in his, you know, at USF, uses University of South Florida. Of course, he said a change is coming, and we are going to win here at the Wings.
Yes, yes, yes. And I like that, you know, he came across firm. I liked it when at the press conference where when he was making that statement, he actually looked at the GM, you know, as if to say, you know, I'm here. This is what I'm expecting, and this is what you should expect. So I like that sternness about him. And the more I read and the more I study and the more I hear all the accolades about him, I'm excited. And then of course having that friendship with Geno, to me, that's enough said.
Geno says if there's a shot you want her to make, she'll make it.
That's it.
If there's something you're going to run, she's going to run it.
That's it.
So I think it's very important not only developing a relationship with her, but everybody on the roster where they feel comfortable on the floor in what they like and what they don't like. And then, of course, they talked about, the statement that they brought Chris Coclanis in. And, he's a first-year head coach. They're not, they don't have time for that. The league is getting better, and you got to put some experience in there. And, of course, the GM is Kirk Miller, who is
right.
That's keys and everything. And he had to make a decision. Do I bring in my boy Chris Coclanis or do I bring in experience? Well, if you want to take this team to the next level, you need to bring in experience, okay? The Wings been in Dallas since 2016. They got 10 years. They started off as a Detroit Shock. Then they came in from Tulsa. And now they're in a major market city. So in order to keep this organization in this city, they got to bring the talent because there's new teams that are coming in and they're swinging. They're going for the home run.
Yes, I think the new teams that were the Valkyries, and then with Toronto coming in, I mean, they made a statement. And, they let everybody know that it can be done with the right situation, with the right coach, the right staffing. And they were a perfect example. So if you didn't feed off of that and realize what's going on in your own organization, then that is definitely on you. And I do also want to point out that they kept the assistant coach, Coclanis' sister, and another one of the coaches,
staff member. Yeah, I saw that. That's good.
On staff. So I believe some of the people that were crying and begging for another particular coach that they had, I don't see her a part of the organization. So it's not about who you want and who you favor. It's about who can come in and get the job done. And I like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. The new practice facility is coming along, and I think with all the newness, their own practice facility, the new coach, and everything that they have going on, it could only be a win-win situation.
All right. Well, excuse me. Excuse me. Looking at the clock, our time is up right now. We're going to wrap this up. I got your book, and I'm looking at it. It says, believe in yourself. Have faith in your abilities. Without a humble but reasonable confidence in your own powers, you cannot be successful or happy. But with sound self-confidence, you can succeed. A sense of fearity and inadequacy interferences with attainment of your hopes, but self-confidence leads to self-realization and self-successful achievement. That is sensational.
Sensational.
George. We are out of time. I want to say thank everybody for watching us, and we will talk NBA. We'll talk more sports next time. I'm being nice today. That's all I got to say. Y'all don't worry about it. I'm going to be nice today. Don't even try to play the song from Ludacris, because I am not going to act a fool up in here today. Okay? I might say something crazy, but I'm not going to act a fool. Thanks a lot for checking us out. I'm Cedric Bailey. You've been listening to Sports in the Mix with the crew, Andrea, George Carrington. More to come, so stay with us.